The technology will always get the better of us, but we will get there in the end.
All right.
Let's see who we've got on.
It says
Hi, Lawrence. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
I saw Elliot at some point this week running into somewhere in Edgware. Apparently, he had been to see you on second day Rosh Hashanah and then left before the end of Yom Tov or something like that.
That's right, yes. Denise walked back with him towards near Stanmore, and I then set off sometime later, so I then met her at about Priory Drive so we could walk back together.
Right. Different type of Yom Tov, hasn't it been?
Very much so, absolutely. But I did see the pictures of you and Rabbi Nick with this mobile sukkah. I don't know, are you familiar with Steptoe and Son?
No.
Well, Jacqueline
He'll have to Google it. He'll have to Google it, yeah.
You'll tell him afterwards.
Someone referenced us to Only Fools.
Only Fools and Horses, yes.
Yeah, Ron was it who's it? What is it? Those two guys called?
Del Boy and Rodney.
Del Boy and Rodney. That's what we refer to.
Yes, I think Elchanan's going to have to brush up on his English cultural television.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure there's loads on Netflix or something, or YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a very long list of quality programs anyway, so I'm sure I'll go through pretty quickly.
Elchanan's not a fan of Faulty Towers, so I think it's a bit of a lost cause, to be honest.
We're famous in Faulty Towers because one of the episodes was filmed at the top of our road where we lived previously in Kenton. And when we moved to Bushy, our daughter found the clip that had the name of the road on it and put it on Facebook and said, "Mum and Dad have moved."
Oh, lovely. Hi, Josie. How are you?
You're
muted. We have to see if I can unmute you. I'm going to try yet. Sorry, Josie. We didn't hear you.
He's not got pictures.
How are you, Josie?
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Lovely to see you.
Say hi to Miriam, but she's just left the screen temporarily.
We'll come around to you, Miriam, in a minute. Martin's here as well. Hi, Martin. And Stanley's over here, and Sarah, and Sandra. It's lovely to see so many people on a Thursday night.
So I suppose it's probably worth sharing what this is all about and how it came about. The concept of finding a time to chat, to have a schmooze with the community, really was born out of an appreciation that there's a winter ahead. And hi, Stanley, good to see you. And with the winter ahead, there's going to be long evenings, and it's going to be cold. I mean, the weather hasn't been great today, and it's not going to get that much better. I hate to break it to everyone, and therefore, it stands to reason that there won't be as many opportunities as we would have wanted to come in contact with you guys, and you guys to come in contact with each other going forward, unless we find a platform to be able to share and to schmooze, and also to share something nice with you guys as well. So that's really the mechanics that were around the schmooze. Let's make Thursday evening a time where we can do a check-in and a check-out with how things are going.
Hi, Stella and Lawrence.
Hi, guys.
Nice to see you.
Hi, Sandra. How are you doing?
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
If we speak loud, yeah.
Nice to see you.
If we speak, sorry, I was about to say, Sandra, if we speak loud enough, you'll be able to hear us from your home.
That's right, yeah.
I hope you can't hear the shouting and screaming that goes on either.
I don't know.
If you do, it's from the Bentleys. Just want to make that very clear.
Yeah. I passed by your house today. You said the weather wasn't good, but I did go out for a walk.
Oh, good for you.
I passed by your house and it was very quiet.
Oh.
Well, during the day it's quiet.
Yeah.
But this sort of time is more questionable.
Yeah. I don't come home. Thursdays is a new day for me. 1 second.
Sound's gone.
No, it's no.
Can you
You
hear us?
can hear us. You can hear us. Thursday's an interesting day for me now. I've begun another year of university because I'm a glutton for punishment and I just enjoy studying. University now is all virtual, but I lock myself in my office on I'm from 10 a.m. and I'm in there until 7 p.m. on a Thursday evening.
Yeah.
So I've just come out for good behavior, really.
You've been let out of your cage.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and for some supper.
And for some supper.
Yeah, but the plan is hopefully by the end of the year, Elchanan will have a master's, please God.
Wow.
That's what he's working towards.
Yeah.
Rabbi, is it true that this afternoon the Queen had an audience with you?
Queen had an audience with me. Help me out here.
Oh, it was her first official engagement since March.
I could have fit her into my daily schedule. That's the problem.
So what will the masters be in?
It's psychotherapy.
Okay.
Gosh, right.
I've been studying for this master's now for about 4 to 5 years. It's really been quite a long haul. Really interesting stuff.
Then you're going to do a PhD, yes?
Well, that's what it's interesting thing that you asked them. My father asked me that just the other day. He said, "So now when you do your master's, you do a PhD."
Enough.
What do you think, Rabbi Dr. Feldman? Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
What about Rebbetzen, Dr. Feldman? That's got an even nicer ring, right?
Even better. Even better. We can have 2 doctors in the house.
I don't know about that. Actually, when I was in SEM in Israel, I've told some people this before actually, but I got a gift for my parents at the end of the year just to thank them for allowing me to go away for the year. And I bought them a magnet, and the message on it at the bottom was, "Love, Rebbetzen Dr. Jacqueline." And the doctor part was genuine because I was going to medical school, and the Rebbetzen part was a joke because I'd just been to SEM. And life has a funny sense of humor that the Rebbetzen part became the real thing, and I didn't end up going to medical school. So it's just interesting if you end up being the Dr. Feldman.
Absolutely.
I hope not. I think it'll be enough after the masters there.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I genuinely do enjoy it. I enjoy the studying. I enjoy the environment, and I enjoy not being a rabbi one day of the week. Where I'm able to, to be different.
Oh, we're joined by very important company over here. Welcome, Jonathan.
Look at that! Wow, everyone, the Haicha Fensters have arrived in town for the session.
Thanks for coming to join us, Jonathan, and thank you for all the unbelievable stuff that's been going on over the last month, but months as well for the show. Our wonderful chairman, Jonathan.
Hey.
Go
We're just saying hi to people and just seeing where everyone's up to on their Thursday evening. So do we think is Thursday night this time quite a nice, relaxed kind of feel? It's getting to the end of the week for people. What are people's thoughts? Is this a good time for people to come and have a chat?
Come on, no, Lawrence, unmute yourself. But I can't hear you, Lawrence.
Unmute yourself.
Yes, I think it's a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No. How about Laura and
Lawrence
thinking,
Do you want me to go and pick up Reuven from Krav Maga now?
Oh, if only. Halavai, Lawrence.
Those were the days. Those were the days.
Yeah.
I think actually probably the conversation in the car is more interesting than what we're going to be talking about.
I miss it.
And it stays in the car. I never find it.
What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. I know that, yeah.
I worry
Lawrence,
about what he tells.
I worry about what Reuven tells Lawrence that he shouldn't be. Lawrence's grandson and Reuven were doing Krav Maga together before COVID. So almost every week Lawrence was picking the boys up, and they have very interesting, if disturbing, I'd say, conversations.
Sometimes. Yeah. That's why you need to go back to university.
Absolutely.
Just to deal with our children, it's true.
Absolutely.
No, to deal with Lawrence.
I thought you meant Reuven, but yeah.
I don't think there's any course I can attend that will help with you, Lawrence.
I think the KGB ran one.
I give up.
Stanley Goldie, can you take yourself off mute for a moment?
Right,
Check
I
and
can
see
hear.
how your week has been.
Sorry?
How has your week been?
My week's been fine. We're very busy. We're hoping to move into a new apartment. So we're busy getting everything ready. Also trying to get into the community. Unfortunately, with the virus, it stops us doing lots of things we thought we were going to do. And we're now doing things we never thought we'd ever do. But
Like
so
Zoom,
far,
right?
everything's okay. No real complaints.
Good.
My wife looks after me very well. She
Okay.
feeds me, she looks after me, and that's the main thing.
Lovely.
Stanley, how's Reese doing in university?
Well, Reese actually came home and then he was told he had to isolate for 2 weeks because somebody in his house had the virus. He's gone back now and he's enjoying himself. He's meeting a lot of people he knew from London. He's meeting a lot of people who have come down from Manchester. And my wife and I think he's matured a lot. He's really enjoying himself. He's in a kosher house. So he's meeting a lot of Jewish boys and girls. So he's having a good time.
Lovely.
I think I saw a picture of him putting up a mezuzah on his dorm dorm
That's
room.
right. That's right.
Yeah, very nice.
Lovely.
Really, really very nice.
That's lovely.
Hmm.
Jonathan, did you want to tell us something interesting that's happened to you today? I'm sure you've had a very full-on day between your part-time work, which is your real job, and being chairman and doing all things bushy all the time.
I'm not sure anything interesting has happened today. I should thank you though for your lovely comments right at the beginning. But it's all down to you guys, really. Everything's down to everybody that works as a team for us at Bushy. Anything interesting that's happened to me today?
How's Rolo doing?
Rolo, oh, there you go. Rolo had a photo shoot today.
Wait, everyone,
Rolo's their dog.
the dog.
Rolo, Lindsay found a photographer that was doing photo shoots for charity.
Oh, wonderful.
They were looking for 20 different style dogs. So she took Rolo for a photo shoot today.
Oh,
so I'm looking forward to seeing the photos, but we won't be buying
please make sure to share them with us when you get the photos of Rolo. Wonderful.
Rolo
Our kids will love that.
Yeah, so feel free. I'm sure the lady will love to send you one as well, a picture of Rolo, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Miriam, I know, has been working hard preparing the women's Hallel that's coming up on Sunday, which is another Bushy first, which is very exciting. We're going to be having Hallel via Zoom, which should be quite interesting on Sunday morning. So Miriam, how's that been going? We unmute you.
Yeah, Miriam, you have to
unmute yourself.
Miriam, unmute yourself. Oh, Miriam.
There you go.
Done it now.
Yeah.
Great. How's it going? I've just dispatched to you and to all our other volunteers the listing. So we're looking forward to as many of the ladies amongst the community and the girls joining us and singing along at home.
The wonderful thing about a Zoom Hallel is even if you are nervous about your musical abilities, unless you're the person leading the section, no one can hear you. So you can sing at the top of your lungs because you'll be on mute. So anyone who's not confident with how melodic their voice is, they can sing to their heart's content on Zoom. Isn't that right, Miriam?
That's fine. All you need is a siddur.
Okay, lovely.
Join us.
Yeah.
Do you think, Miriam, that we should maybe even put a PDF of the Hallel up so that people can...
Yeah, if you've got one. I'd like to try find one that's transliterated that we can share the screen so people who either don't know where to find the place or just want to be able to follow along, maybe we can share it on the screen at the same time. But I will work on the technology side of it.
So does that mean if the PDF's on, if you're screen sharing, that we won't see when we are singing, we won't be able to see ourselves, which would be a great advantage?
You will see the speaker.
The speaker. So whoever is singing, you'll see in a small box in the corner, and then the main screen will be taken up with a PDF.
Small box is fine.
Yeah, I think all of us feel the same way. And Stella, I can see you sitting there in the corner. I think next time we're going to have you doing a paragraph with us, because you did such a great job with the Megillah. I think we'll have to get you on board next. What do we have, Miriam? About 6 people leading, or is it more than that?
About I've sent you the email just now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there are six different logons, if you like, but there are 7 of us involved.
Lovely.
7 of us. Oh no, 7 plus your good self.
Oh, so 8. Lovely. So that should be really something a bit different, and hopefully something special as well. Yeah.
Nice.
So
around that today, I've been making chutney.
Ooh.
What flavor?
From my garden,
courgettes,
the one butternut squash that I managed to produce, tomatoes, plus some apple, onion and date, and various spices. So,
looking forward to the invitation.
I have to say to you, the last line of the recipe says leave to mature for 2 to 3 months. So it's above the cupboard.
We'll put it in the diary. We're looking forward to hearing an update how that turns out.
Oh, well done. I've just finished today. I pickled some of my own cucumbers. So
hi, Benjamin.
Hi, Benjamin.
Nice to see you, Ben.
So speaking of things that need to be matured for a while, Jacqueline, you want to explain what this is?
Yeah, this is plum vodka. So it's basically plums, sugar, and lots of vodka that will be sitting in our cupboard for 6 months, and hopefully at the end will taste absolutely delicious.
And if not, I'll be shikker, so I don't care.
I thought they were pickled onions.
No, I haven't made those before. This is pickled vodka. We'll see how that turns out.
They do look like pickled onions.
They do, don't they? But the interesting thing is the liquid has changed to the plum color completely. Like, it really absorbs the color. We'll see what happens in another few months. So I think in December, I think Hanukkah time, it will be ready. I made it in the summer, so hopefully that'll be our next project. We've done beer. We still haven't done sourdough. I still didn't join the sourdough craze. Anyone done sourdough recently?
You need to speak to Alan Grant. He's the expert.
Okay. Was that a lockdown project for him?
Oh, I think he's been making it beforehand. He started to tell me how to do it, and I just gave up halfway through the explanation.
Yeah, we did injera, which I think is similar to it, but I think that put me off. Probably.
He's the expert. You have to keep changing things every day, he was telling me. So he's the one to speak to.
Lovely.
Good to know.
Lovely.
So the shmooze part is self-explanatory. We assumed that the l'chaim part was self-explanatory, but it appears that we're the only ones who are interested in the subject.
We're going to give you all a minute. Anyone who wants to find themselves a l'chaim, we're going to make a communal Zoom l'chaim. So anyone who wants to imbibe in a small, this is quite a large amount.
Oh, Lawrence! Oh, a man after my own heart.
Don't drink. Don't drink.
Really, just wishing everyone a week coming up, with the Shabbat coming up, and a week ahead of health and happiness and all good things, and wishing us all a l'chaim tovim or shalom, to a good life and peace and health.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
And goodbye to the virus.
Amen.
Not yet.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Absolutely.
Good. We wanted also to have a chance to share a thought or an idea as we approach Shabbat. And this Shabbat's a really special one, because we're beginning the whole cycle of reading from the Torah again. So we're beginning with Bereishit, which we're now entering the stories that we're all very familiar with. And obviously we start right from the beginning. We start with the book of creation. We start with the story of creation and the story of Adam and Eve, of Adam and Chava. But I wanted to share a thought that was shared with me probably when I was about 19 years old. And that has really left an impression on me, and is a message that I think is so universal, but so crucial, especially at the juncture that we find ourselves in right now. So when I after I'd finished SEM, I was in university, and during reading week, as one does, rather than spending the week studying, I popped back off to Israel to go and visit family, friends there, spend some time in SEM, like just doing a short stint of SEM as well. And I went back to visit one of my rabbis from SEM. And I was talking to him at the time. I was working with an organization called Clubhouse for Girls, which some of you may have heard of. It was based in Golders Green. It's actually now transitioned into a different organization called NOAA, which maybe we'll find out about at a later date. But it's an organization that helped to support girls, teenage girls who were going through real challenges, mainly coming from very orthodox, very religious Orthodox homes, and were really struggling with different things, whether it was abuse, whether it was drugs, whether it was lots of other things that different people were struggling with. And I was going along to the organization. I was there more like an informal madricha, like a support, someone for people to talk to, that kind of idea. I used to go there in the evenings. And when I came to Israel to talk to my rabbi from SEM, one of the things that I said to him is, I said, you're talking here about girls who come from homes where they're shomer Shabbat, where they keep Shabbat, where they keep kosher, where they come from really strict homes, and they've rejected everything. But they've not just rejected all their religious side of life, they've kind of thrown everything in. So they've lost all sense of morality, they've lost all sense of care for other people, of thinking of other people, because they were all going through real struggles. And the message that my teacher, Rabbi Geiser, shared with me is one from this week's Parshat. And he said to me that if you look in the Torah, the verse begins with two words. You don't need to look further than the first two words of the whole Torah. The first two words is Bereishit, bara. And we know that means in the beginning of God creating the heaven and the earth, and then we continue with the story. But he said you can look at the words in another way. Bereishit means first, or the priority, the first thing is, and the word bara, you can change the vowel to say bari, is to be healthy. And he said that the first thing that you need to do is to focus on health, and specifically on mental health. He said the first thing that's so important is to help people to find, and really the message is for all of us, for ourselves as well right now, is to find a way to be okay mentally, to be okay emotionally, to be okay in who you are. Then you can talk about, Shabbat. Then you can talk about kosher. Then you can talk about being kind to other people. But the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you are okay. And I think that the reason that this message really resonated with me right now is I'm feeling very much as we're heading towards winter, as we're watching the COVID levels rising again. I think there's a lot of anxiety around. I think there's a lot of stress around that, whether that's personally that I'm seeing or that I'm seeing around amongst other people. And I really think that this message of making our mental health a priority is so important right now. And it's something that is really such a universal message always, but specifically right now for what we're going to be dealing with. The restrictions on how many people you're going to be allowed to see, or whether you're going to be allowed to see other people, are only getting stricter right now. And I think that prioritizing how to make sure that we're okay in terms of our mental health is something that is so important, and actually fits in really well with what Elchanan was saying, that he's just started his this year his master's program.
This device is ready.
It's such an important thing to think about. So I don't know if you want to maybe comment.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, because what Jacqueline was seeking from this rabbi was an answer to what he's supposed to do with people who are struggling, and what Rabbi Geisler said was the first thing to focus on is being well. You could talk about religion, you could talk about adherence, whatever, afterwards, but if health is not good, then there's no foundations of anything else like finding God. And in fact, one can argue finding spirituality and religion when you're not balanced can do more harm than good on occasions. We found when I was in yeshiva, the same age Jacqueline was at 19, and I was beginning my career in the academy towards being a rabbi, the first thing that our instructor said was, listen, I can teach you a lot, but if there are things that you need to deal with in terms of your own mental health struggles, then you need to see a professional to deal with that. And he said, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychotherapist, and if people need or are seeking that type of help, then they deserve the right to find it, and they can only be better for it. Now, we're not talking here about extremes. So it's not like, I mean, in America, everyone has a shrink, you know, some people have 2 or 3, but we're not talking here about having to embark on some type of mental health journey. But what we are talking about is positive mental health and recognizing that there are times of anxiety, times of real struggle, maybe not for you guys, maybe for us, but also for people that we're associated with in their households and otherwise. And we have the opportunity to make sure that that's a part of the discussion, and to see, are we having a down day? Are we having a harder week? Can we come together on a Thursday night just to schmooze and to talk to each other, a way of checking in to make sure we're okay? That has to be a good step in the right direction. Now listen, we only have a minute to go before we're going to turn to pumpkins and a half an hour together is off. So just bring it back to you guys. Any closing thoughts from your end?
Well, it's paradoxical that you talk about the start of the whole Torah and health. We saw only a half an hour or so ago that unfortunately Rabbi Lord Sachs is ill again with cancer. And I'm sure we all wish him a refuah shalema.
Amen.
And actually, I saw the post that he wrote about that, and the thing that I thought was so powerful about it was how clear he was on that his priority right now is to look after his health. Yeah. You know, he has so many followers and so much global influence, but actually right now he very clearly stated that he's going to take some time out to look after himself. So, you know, obviously that's a very extreme example, but I think that it's a message for all of us, isn't it? That needs to be our priority right now, is looking after ourselves.
And also he showed vulnerability. He didn't have to publicize that he was going through a difficult time, but part of leadership is, if you can't see in a leader that there are struggles, then how can you learn from us?
Anyone else wants to comment?
That Mr. Trump you're talking about?
There's a program on him at the moment. It's on BBC Two.
Yeah, we were trying to avoid politics this evening.
But there are many levels. There are many levels you could take our messages on.
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody that lives alone and got other problems, my attitude is just I take one day at a time, and I do what's necessary for me. I do feel also guilt because I don't always do as much housework as I should and all this sort of business. But I think my priority is to keep myself healthy, mentally healthy, and it's just taking one day at a time and thinking that nothing lasts forever, and this too shall pass.
Praise God. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Very much. Yeah.
Any other closing words before we sign off, and remind everyone that tomorrow, an hour before Shabbat comes in, we will have our Kabbalah Shabbat greetings with a memorial prayer, Kabbalah Shabbat to the community, and also just a chance to wish each other Shabbat Shalom as well, which is quite important to do.
Does anyone else want to share a thought?
I think the root of what you've been talking about is actually anxiety. People are very, very anxious.
Yes.
That is very difficult to allay. So you have to reassure, and reassurance is the main thing. And I don't think we get reassurance enough from the government about what's happening. And if they did, then maybe people's anxieties and mental health would improve immensely.
Yeah, but don't you think the government are doing the best they can under an extremely difficult circumstances?
I
Some
do.
people are not meeting them halfway.
I think
the government have difficulty because they've got to think of our mental health. They've got to think about the health of the economy. Very important.
Yeah.
Because the future generations are going to have to pay for this. We're talking about our children and our grandchildren.
Sure.
And unfortunately, people of my vintage, I think we have to be prepared to let the young people have their way to a certain extent and keep the economy going, because without the economy, everything else will collapse.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I think the anxiety comes from the fact that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's right.
You really
maybe we're lucky.
plan anything at all, and that's terrible.
And I think that anxiety, I think what's important about anxiety as well is to acknowledge that actually we're all feeling pretty anxious at the moment. You know, some people have more extreme levels of anxiety, but actually this is a really tough time. You know, part of what we're doing as well is talking to families that are planning their simchas coming up for bar and bat mitzvahs. It is a really stressful, you know, anxiety provoking time for people and for us as well. And I think part of what helps is to know that actually nobody's alone. You know, these are very real struggles that we're all sharing to different degrees, obviously, but we are all feeling this is a hard time.
It's a bit easier if we're together. Jonathan, do you want to just close off with anything?
I don't really have much else to add other than I thought today was a Brexit final day that we've heard nothing of from the government. There was something
still going.
just to, you know, bring a bit more joy to everyone. I'm sure today there was supposed to be something to do with Brexit that they've kind of brushed under the carpet. So sorry to add
maybe
any more
maybe we should have a
anxiety.
political evening. It sounds like that's what people are quite interested in discussing politics. So maybe next time when we discuss Noah and the flood, we can talk about what the political situation in America and England today. How about that?
Wonderful.
It's only 2 weeks till the election, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's to 2 weeks of peace and quiet. We please God, we'll see everyone at 4:45 tomorrow for pre-Kabbalah Shabbat. Until then, l'chaim, have a wonderful night and get that chicken soup on.
L'chaim.
Bye.
Do you ever put the chicken soup on, Rabbi?
He makes a mean chulent, not so much chicken soup. But not really. He's not such a. He doesn't really love chicken soup. That's the truth.
Oh wow! How can you not love
questioning his Jewish heritage? That is part of it. Is a question, isn't it?
Absolutely. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Go soon.